Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of IndieChoice Picks. And today I've had the pleasure of speaking with another awesome creator. His name is Jeremy Peerboom, and he is the author of Realm Raiders. Now, when I came across this project, I thought it was a pretty cool concept. If you're into shows like Rick and Morty, shows that travel the multiverse, I love Rick and Morty. That's what got my attention to it. This Indiegogo is for you, so sit back and relax and let me and Jeremy do the talking. If you guys like the interview and like the concept of his story, please go to his Indiegogo page and back his project. It'll help him out a lot. So we really want this project to happen because, hey, I backed it and I want my copy. So let's help Jeremy out and you guys enjoy. Hey, Jeremy, thank you for coming on to the show. You're like guest number 3 so far.
Awesome. Thank you.
We're doing some really cool things with this show. We're just trying to get indie creators out there like you. Because I'm an indie creator too. I've been for about the last 10 years, and it's really hard to kind of get people to see your work. And I kind of figure, the best thing you can do for someone else is to help them get their work out, especially if it's something cool. And I kind of like your idea of the Realm Raiders because I'm a big multiverse kind of like enthusiast about that stuff. So I'm not going to do a lot of talking. I'm going to turn it over to you.
Oh, great.
Just kind of like casual, just tell everybody who you are, where you're from, what you do, and a little bit about your comic book really quick.
Sure. So I am Jeremy Peerboom. I've got an Indiegogo campaign right now for Realm Raiders, and that's a book I've been working on probably about 2 years now.
Wow.
So I thought about it, back in like 2017, and started doing something with it last year finally, and here we are today, and it's up on Indiegogo. I'm based out of Minnesota. I've got some art training up here doing live caricatures at a theme park. That was years ago, like straight out of high school I did that. And currently I do assists for, somebody that works in the industry.
Cool.
So I've kind of got connections and,
Now, are you the only one working on this comic, or do you have a team?
My team is very small. I've got a colorist and an editor. Other than that, I'm pretty much doing it on my own. I'm writing it, I'm drawing it, inking it, putting down the flats. I'm learning how to letter.
Yeah.
So everything except for really coloring and editing it.
Well, what do you use to do all of your work? Do you do like say like your pencils? Like for example, for me, when I do my pencils, I used to do it by hand on paper, and then I would scan it into my computer, send it over to my ink artist, and he would ink it, and then I would color it. What's your process like?
I'm doing it old school. Everything it's pencil, paper, ink.
Wow.
Lots of erasing, and yeah.
That's intense. Like I've tried to do inking. My inking just sucks. Like I with the current project I'm working on, I did the first 6 pages of my ink. And then from there, I just kind of hired an ink artist and just had him kind of continue on. And then I saw how good his inks were, and I was like, oh, we're going to have to go back and redo my old inks here because this looks terrible. Absolutely terrible. So do you use Photoshop for your coloring or anything like that?
Yeah,
Or?
I do Photoshop for laying down the flats, and then all the lettering. I'm teaching myself how to do that. But I tried doing digital drawing a couple weekends ago, and I hate it.
It's just not the same.
No,
I can't do it. Like I've tried doing it. I have a drawing tablet that my wife got me 2 years ago for Christmas, and she was like, you can save a lot of paper. And then I tried drawing on it, and I go, no, you need to kill more trees because I like drawing on paper.
Yeah, I like to see like what I'm limited to.
Yeah.
All right, I have this much room. Let's make it happen. And like as opposed to having like all this unlimited space on the tablet or whatever you're working on, and it's like, oh, I can do whatever I want. It's like, no, I want my boundaries. I want my limitations on the physical paper.
Exactly. Like I'm trying to do more, trying to just kind of get out of that comfort zone of drawing on paper and doing a lot more on digital. But whenever I color on Photoshop, I usually use my drawing tablet because it's easier for me to do that. So I recently switched. I used to use GIMP to do a lot of my coloring.
Okay.
The latest update on GIMP was just so many bugs and glitches. So I finally caved in and got Photoshop. And I go, man, this is so much easier. It's a lot faster too.
And you're on like
for the last 3 years.
Are you on like the monthly subscription for Photoshop?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I sign up as a student, so I get a
Okay. I think that's what I did too. It's like $10 a month.
yeah, like get like I think it's 20 for me because I got the whole setup, like all
Yeah.
the Adobe products. I didn't just get Photoshop. So I was like, I don't know, I might end up using some of these projects, probably programs one day, but I don't know. I just need Photoshop for now. Just
Yep.
so much stuff out there. So I'm gonna switch the screen over just for a second. There we go. Wait, see the screen on your side?
Yep.
All right, cool. So I like the idea of your Realm Raiders kind of. I'm a big fan of like multiverse stuff. Like I like Rick and Morty. The Flash kind of touched on the whole multiverse thing for a little while,
Yeah.
and then I don't know what the hell's going on now. But
I don't either. I know what happens.
so tell me a little bit about it. How did you come up with this idea of the whole multiverse? And I like your main character. He's pretty cool too. Part time. He's pretty dope. So kind of go over all the characters, like the story, the concept, all that stuff. How'd you get to it?
So in a nutshell, everything's loosely based off of myself and people I know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so part-time would be like a reflection of myself, I guess.
Okay.
And then everybody else is just sort of like, people that were in, like people that were crucial to my life a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I just kind of like wanted to tell that story, but not like have it be like totally that story. So hence in comic form, I guess.
Okay.
So the realms are basically, they're based off of video games.
So like there's like a Pac-Man world or like a Resident Evil world or
yeah. So like basically like the zombie world is based off of like Left 4 Dead or like any other like zombie game. And
okay.
you'll see like the talking animals like Pid the sloth
Mhm.
that's in the spacesuit. You'll see him. There's a turtle that is that they'll meet later on in the book.
Okay.
It's just talking animals based off of Animal Crossing.
Fantastic.
Just stuff like that.
So I like what you did with part-time design. I thought it was like a mummy kind of thing, and I was like, oh, I don't know what that is. And then I kind of went up here and read his kind of bio. Apparently, he was he was good in his prime, and now he's kind of coming to the end of his good years or something like that.
Yeah.
And then,
Yep.
then something happened. So tell me a little bit more about your main character. Like, what can he do? What's his powers?
So part-time is basically just a loner.
Okay.
He just goes from like town to town, just kind of like doing his, just doing like vigilante work. Doesn't really have time to do anything else. And the name part-time, he doesn't have a name, so he's got he got a stupid name that eventually is given to him. His design is just based off of like 90s Avengers and X-Men comics.
Okay.
Whenever when everybody's wearing the jackets.
He kind of reminds me of like a Gambit kind of character.
Okay.
Like Gambit from X-Men because of the coat and I guess I want to say the gauntlets too.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, and the gauntlets are just based off of think of it as a very, very primitive Green Lantern ring.
Okay, so he can create constructs based off of like what he feels or what he thinks.
Well, they're powered by his emotions. So if he's feeling confident, then his gauntlets work. They're at their peak.
Mm-hmm.
But as you can see on that first page, they're kind of acting up. They're kind of sporadic.
Mm-hmm.
They're not as fluid. So he's just kind of not caring anymore.
Okay, and in this particular scene, where is he at? He's in. Is this another world? Is this our world? And who are these characters?
Yep. So this is our world. He hasn't been introduced to the realms yet.
Okay.
So that's where Rose comes in. She's she's one of the raiders, one of the realm raiders. So she's able to hop over to the different realms.
Okay. And I'm assuming Rose is this girl right here who's looking cool with a cigarette. All right. Yes. Like when I looked at your video and your art looks really great. I can really get into this kind of thing. How long did it take you to say draw a page like this with all the details and stuff?
I do it off. I do it like I don't really have time to sit down and do all pencils one day, so I'll come back to it every once in a while. I'd say probably about 2 days, maybe. Just a day for penciling it and then starting to ink it and then coming in like the next day just to finish the inks.
Yeah, that sounds about right. When I do my colors usually take anywhere from about a few hours to like a few days, because normally people who like work days like me, you want to come home and do work, but then like you come home and just kind of not do work. So
Yeah.
you're
And then you tell yourself on the weekends that you're just gonna spend
do it, yeah. And
but
then
then you see the weather outside and it's like, oh, I want to go outside.
yeah, it just doesn't end up doing it. But I always tell artists, and I can tell right now by your skill as an ink artist, the colors is only as well as the ink that you put onto it. Like you can have like the best colors in the world and all that fun stuff, but if you don't have a great ink artist who's able to put in his details that you've put here, the artwork doesn't really pop. So I can tell that you've been really busy with the inking. How long, just by inking alone, you said you use regular inks like pens, or do you have like the whole pen? I mean, I don't know what they call it, like the whole
I've got everything. I've got the micron markers, I've got the brushes, I've got the bottles of ink, I've got like these really cool rubber tip pens from Japan that are, it's basically like a brush.
cool. That's what I tried to do it. I got a pack of micron pens too that I was trying to use for a little while, and
Oh yeah.
I couldn't get to that level. I want to get to that level one day where I can ink something like that and it looks great, but I just at some point I can't really get to that deep detail. But the detail I can tell right now is really fantastic, and that's what really kind of drew me to your art. So when I'm doing these interviews, when I'm picking people out, the first thing that gets me is the artwork. Like if the artwork is like this to where it pops, to where you're like, man, this looks really good, I want to know what's going on. That's my first thing. And then I go into like concepts and story, and if it really calls to me, and then those are the kind of like my flags for people who like, I need to get in here for an interview. So you're one of those people, and like I said, it looks fantastic. Looks really great.
Thank you.
What I picked up, because I'm not big on drawing body parts or anything like that, but I got this little, it's called a drawing coon or whatever like that, and it
Okay.
comes with interchangeable hands and feet and all that stuff, and you can kind of pull them in any type of direction. And what I do is I use my phone, so if I'm trying to get a certain angle, I can angle it out and kind of get that angle that I want to see in that scene, and that really helps out a lot. So a lot of artists are starting to use these little guys. They come in a boy and a girl, and they have like a really big dude, they have a really skinny dude, and then there's like the medium one. So
Is that made by Figuarts?
no, you know what? Maybe
Because they do. I seen they do make like the blank bodies.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if
And
this
like,
one in particular was made by Figure Arts, but I think I got this one for like $30. Figure Arts are like twice that.
yes, they are. I know a thing about them.
Yeah, it's really expensive if you're trying to get them. But I mean, like, if you are just going to use them to draw, I mean, I wouldn't break the bank to try and get one. But it does help if you need like a reference. Like with this, I would be able to draw what you did right here for sure, because I'm doing it right now. I can look at it. But if you were to like tell me draw someone getting up off the floor, I'm like, God, I need a reference for that. So this guy kind of helped me with all those references and stuff. So
yeah. So the pose that he's in on the ground right there, I had to lay down on the ground just to get the measurements all right on that.
good, because I'm just glad it was not just me that had a problem with just drawing free out of my head. Because I know artists who can just draw free out of their heads. I'm like, whoa, that's pretty cool. I wish I could do that, but most of the time I need references to kind of help me draw to get that kind of angle going. But
oh yeah, man, it doesn't hurt to use reference.
I do have one question for you. You said you were a character artist, right? Well, this isn't the question, but what theme park were you doing that at?
Valley Fair here in Minnesota.
Is that like kind of like the equivalent of like Six Flags or like Disneyland?
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. I think it's owned by the same people by Cedar
Rapids or something like that.
Yeah, I think Cedar Parks is like the big corporate chain that they go by. So Valley Fair is one of them, and then the guy who runs the character booths out at Valley Fair is Tom Richmond, and he does work for Mad Magazine.
Okay.
So
when you're doing characters, and I see a lot of people, you catch a lot of the likeness of
Yeah.
whomever you're drawing. I've tried doing that, and it's like, what are some of the skills that you've learned to catch a person's likeness in your artwork? Like, what do
Just like
you?
look for like the main, um, look for like their main features that really make, make up their face a lot. So we'd always start with the eyes, and then work your way down to the nose, and then the mouth. So you're basically just going straight down, and then you're building the shape around it.
Okay.
So start with eyes, nose, maybe hitting the cheeks right away, just sort of just to get your framework in early, and then finish everything else off. And
Because I see a lot of artists that do that, and like, I'm a huge Power Ranger fan. I love Power
I
Rangers.
noticed.
They have they came out with a comic book last year based on Tommy, and it was like a little short graphic novel that came out around Christmas time, and they captured his likeness, the way he looks today, and I was like, man, that's really cool. I wish I can do something like that to where I could look at somebody and just throw in their likeness and just be like, okay, well, if I need to draw a new character, I can just add someone who's actually existing in real life and
Right.
just throw them into a comic book. Because I know a lot of people who do Indiegogos or they do Kickstarters, they do that too, where they'll have like a tier, like, yeah, get drawn into the comic book. And I'm like, I can't do that because I can't draw people's likeness very well. I'll probably have to hire somebody to do that if I
Yeah,
ever decide to do that part. So
and that's I've got that tier on my campaign also.
really, I'm gonna need
Yeah,
to look at that. But I think I backed it for, I don't know how much I backed it for.
I think it was the basic cover. So
Basically, yeah, you have a
yeah,
lot of variants, right?
I just have one. I just have the one variant drawn by Tom Nguyen,
Okay.
but
So
that's
go ahead.
nope. That was it. Yeah, that was it. Just
Okay.
just by Tom.
So after the Indiegogo, you said if it doesn't work out, you're going to go over to Kickstarter.
I'll give Indiegogo another chance
Okay.
because I really like their in demand after the campaign is fulfilled or after it's successful to keep it open
Okay.
a little while longer. But yeah, if Indiegogo is not good the second time, I'll probably go to Kickstarter and try them out.
So what made you choose Indiegogo versus Kickstarter?
The lower like the lower fee. So like once the campaign's done, they charge like the service fee. I
Mm-hmm.
think theirs was like 2% less than Kickstarter.
Really?
Um, the in-demand store was a big thing. A lot of people are going to Indiegogo for their comics. And what was the other one? There was one more. Oh, and they gave me an extra discount for launching it before a certain date.
Because I know for Indiegogo, if you don't hit your goal, you still get something, right?
Yes, you have the option to keep the money.
Mm-hmm.
I have that on there, but I'm gonna give the money back because you don't want to take money and not be able to deliver a product. So when I was clicking everything out, I don't think I read the fine print on like the difference between the two,
Mm-hmm.
because there was like an all in, and then there was the everybody gets their money back.
So there is an all-in feature because I thought with Indiegogo it was just like whatever you make, that's in your pocket.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, but the,
I don't. I couldn't do that.
like I've been looking in a Kickstarter because I see a lot of people on Kickstarter, and like Indiegogo and Kickstarters are somewhat the same in terms of you're doing certain things, but like you said, Indiegogo charges 2% less in their fees versus Kickstarter, which I didn't know at all. Which everyone wants to save a lot of money.
Right.
You have to account for like that if your campaign gets fulfilled. I didn't know you would have to account for like service fees of like 5% because that's a lot of money if you're pulling off like
Yeah,
a
it is. Yeah.
five figure pledge. So, yeah, that's interesting. Well, good to know. Hear that,
Yeah. So,
people. Look into your crowdfunders before you do it.
yeah. So like if if you launch a campaign, you might as well just factor in those fees in there in the campaign too, just so you come out on top a little bit, and
Yeah.
you cover your butt in the long run.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of horror stories where people didn't really properly cover
Yeah.
themselves, and
Yeah.
they had to come out of pocket like a few $1,000s just to make
Yep.
up for it. I'm like, I don't know if I want to go through that. That's too much. But yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to it. I really don't have any more questions for you. I love the concept of the whole multiverse thing. I don't see a lot of comic books really doing that anymore. And you would think so because of like Rick and Morty, how popular that show
Right.
is. Like you would think that there would be more like crazy mischief, multiverse traveling going around like that, but there isn't. And it's kind of good to see something different. But I could be wrong. If someone's watching this right now and you have something that you want to show,
It's
like let
get
me
on
know.
here and tell them.
Yeah, get on here and tell me because I love multiverse. You never know what kind of multiverse are going out there. But
Yeah, I like the idea of, if you're going to travel from one place, you better wind up in that exact same spot that you are going to in like the other in like another world.
okay. Well, here's a question for you. How do they jump? How do they go from one world to another?
Rose has a device that she can key in where they're going to go,
Okay.
and it just kind of picks up on everybody that's around. So she's gonna eventually like give part-time a little device that's going to pick him up on her device, so that way he can join in with them.
That's cool.
And it doesn't like pick up like any other objects or people along the way.
I think it's cool coming up with those kind of concepts, especially those that are based on, I wouldn't say based on science, but based on theories that are rooted in science. Like there's the whole like theories of the multiverse, if the multiverse exists, if our universe is one in like infinite numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You take those theories and you look at them and you ask yourself, well, what if this was this? And I think that's really fun how a lot of the concepts today in comic books are rooted in those theories that haven't been proven by science yet, but there's a very, very strong possibility that those kinds of things could be true. And I just like the way how people think out of the box with those things, and it's really fantastic that people do that. So kudos to you, man. That's more fantastic.
Thank you.
So that's all I got for today. You got any questions for me or anything?
Do I have any questions? So you're a Power Ranger fan.
I'm a huge Power Ranger fan.
So you're buying the comics.
Uh-huh.
What are you enjoying more, Mighty Morphin or Go-Go?
Go-Go. Right.
I am too.
Go-Go. I have no idea what's going on in Mighty Morphin after the Shattered Grid. I'm just like, okay, what is this now?
Yeah, I dropped Mighty Morphin like a long time ago, and it's like Go-Go's like the one to go to.
Well, like I just noticed, and I don't even think it was a spoiler or anything, but I was reading maybe like 2 issues ago when Rita was talking to her mom, and I'm looking at her mom. I go, why does she look so familiar? And then I look at the chest shield she's wearing, and I go, she has on a Green Ranger chest shield. Did you notice that? Like, go back and watch and look at some of those pictures of Rita's mom. Mm-hmm. She's wearing Tommy's Green Ranger dragon shield on her chest, and I was like, is that where Rita got that Green Ranger dragon shield? Because it
would make sense.
It would make perfect sense. So now I'm like, I pulled off a theory kind of like a while ago, because with Go-Go, you're kind of going into the Green with Evil arc. I mean, that's where they're going with that. Then I asked myself, I was like, what if this whole universe that's in Go-Go was Draken World's universe before, Draken took over and got into power? Because a lot of the stuff that happens in Go-Go, like Jason and Trini getting together and all the other stuff that happens, it's not referenced in Mighty Morphin. It's like it never happened, So I'm thinking like maybe we're going into like the origin story of like Lord Draken and where he came from and how he became so powerful. Even though we got a glimpse of it before, this wouldn't be the first time Boom Studios has kind of like said, no, this isn't it, but in actuality it kind of is. So I'm just waiting to see what that turns into. And I think I made a video on that on my YouTube channel, so if you want to go check it out, I have some pretty compelling evidence that this is what it is for sure. Like,
cool. I haven't got that far yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I spoiled it for you.
I read them in like chunks.
Oh, when they like release the volumes?
No. Like when I'm like, if I've got nothing going on a Saturday, I'll realize, oh crap, I'm like 4 issues behind. So I'll sit down and I'll read them that way.
Oh, okay. So you like buy them in advance. It's just kind of like, I'll read them later.
Just buy them when they come out, and then if I got nothing going on, then I'll play catch up on them.
Yeah, I tried to do that like with Go-Go, but I'm too invested in the story right now. Like, Mighty Morphin, I can wait like a few weeks before I actually read what's going on there. But I think in June they're going to be kind of going back to like what happened after the Shattered Grid reset.
Okay.
So a lot of fans are like excited with that because they unveiled the White Ranger. So like
Nice.
I was just kind of like disappointed with this last story arc for like the last few months. I'm like, what the hell is going on? Like, what happened after the reset? That's what everyone wants to know. You're giving us this 6-issue story about some Solar Ranger, and I'm like, I don't care about her. I care about what happened to the other people. Like, come on, let's do this. But oh well, we would just have to wait until June. We got a month left, sort of.
Yeah, because they're bi-monthly, right?
Well, no, Go-Go is like at the beginning of the month, and Mighty Morphin's towards the end. So
Okay.
Mighty Morphin, I think, is either this Wednesday or next Wednesday.
Okay.
It might be this Wednesday because I think next Wednesday is May 1st.
Yeah, I think next Wednesday's next Wednesday is May 1st.
So it might be this Wednesday that is coming out
Okay.
for April's issue. So, and then we got May, and then a whole new story arc. So we'll see what's happening there because that was Shattered Grid. It's like that was last year, and I'm like, man, that was
Yeah,
a
it was.
year ago that they did the Shattered Grid, and Shattered Grid was great. I love that. That was just so badass. I didn't think they should have like did that to Draken because he's the most badass villain that they've come up with. But I don't know. I want to get inside those people at Boom Studios and say, hey, what are you guys doing?
Right. Yeah, I didn't buy that whole story arc. I
Uh-huh.
just bought the one issue that had the foil cover. It
Yeah,
was like that special issue.
that was a badass cover.
Yeah, it was.
When I opened it, I was like, whoa, like they spent money on this.
Yeah, I haven't even read it yet.
You haven't read it yet? Oh man,
I'm
I'm just like spoiling
Oh
everything
no,
for
no,
you.
I don't care. I have this bad thing of just buying my books and not reading them. So
Uh-huh.
like 90% of my books that I own have never been read.
Really?
I'll just flip through them and look at the art and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I used to do that too. Like my first comic that I ever read was Miles Morales Spider-Man. And I
Okay.
would just flip through it and look at the art. I didn't really read the comics and then
That
people
was the first one you ever read?
Yeah, I was never really into comic books like as a
Okay.
kid. Like we didn't have where I grew up, we didn't have comic books, and at that time I was thinking like, man, comic books are so far ahead anyway. There's no way I can possibly catch up and read.
Right.
And then I heard the news that Peter Parker died, and I was like, word, Peter Parker like died? I was like, yeah, no, he's dead. And so this new kid, Miles, is taking over. I'm like, well, how is this kid going to live up to Peter Parker as Spider-Man?
Yeah.
That's my main question. So I went and picked up the first issue and kind of enjoyed it. And then my wife got me the Death of Spider-Man, like that 4 or 5 issue arc leading up to Peter Parker getting beat down by the Green Goblin.
Yep.
And I was like, whoa, this is really intense. This is what a comic book is. It's like blood and people dying. And Peter Parker's dead. This kid is like fucking 12 and he's trying to be Spider-Man. I'm like, okay. And then half of my monthly paycheck goes towards comic books after that. So like Wednesdays are like my the little things in life where you just go pick up that $3-4 comic book and you walk out
Yeah.
with a stack like that big.
Yeah, that's what I do. We go out and after work it's like straight to the store
Yep.
and then just hang out there until the store ends. And then recently we've been going to like a restaurant bar and doing trivia there. And we did like 3 weeks in a row where we won trivia.
Really?
So we've got a couple pizza parties waiting for us.
That sounds like fun. I
Yeah.
was following like when DC did like I don't really read much of DC anymore after the whole
Okay.
like they did the New 52 and then they did the DC Rebirth and I'm like, didn't you just do like a whole nother revamp like 2 years ago?
Yeah.
I was following the Flash like with Godspeed and all that, who they just showed on this season of the Flash. Widely underrated for sure. Oh, I can't believe they did that. But after they got rid of Godspeed, I was like, well, there's no reason for me to sit here and read the Flash anymore because it's like I don't even know what's happening now because I'm just afraid they're just gonna we're gonna reboot the whole DC multiverse now. And I'm like,
Again.
I have no place to put these extra comics. Like, stop rebooting everything.
Yeah.
But I heard they're
You know,
getting ready to do a Static Shock comic, so I'm excited for that.
Okay.
But that's
You didn't
the
like
rumor.
Rebirth?
I couldn't I tried to I have like free comic book day and you get those comics where you
Yeah.
like Black Canary Rebirth or like Green Arrow Rebirth Batman. So I got all of them, like the entire members of the Justice League. I got all their like free issue zeros on like May May.
Yeah, it was May. It was, yep, it was, I remember that.
Comic book day. So I just took all of them and went home and read and just kind of pick and choose which one I wanted. And then I got the one where it was a Flash, and like I guess Wally West was between worlds, running around trying to like go back in time and stuff like that. I'm like, this seems cool. Swear that was the only comic that I like picked up for like the next few months was the Flash, because when they revealed Godspeed, I was like, oh, cool, a new speedster. And he's really badass because his guys just run around killing people for no reason to steal their speed. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then after they got rid of him, which was the most like crappiest way ever, because I thought that he was going to let him kill Dawn. After that, I was like, I don't know what else to do after this. So I just stopped reading DC after a while. Like the movies went downhill. Last good movie I saw was Aquaman. I haven't seen Shazam, but after
I
that,
haven't seen Shazam either.
I heard it was good.
Yeah, I did too.
But everyone's like, you're trying to like push DC movies and like Endgame is right around the corner. I don't think that's going to work. Endgame is like 4 days away, and you're like, let's go see Shazam. I'm like, word? Nah, let's just save our money. Go watch Endgame.
Yeah, I think I might go see like Shazam this week and then wait a week on Endgame just to avoid the crowds.
See, no, I got my tickets for Endgame already.
I did. Yeah, I didn't get my tickets yet.
I got it right before the servers crashed.
Okay.
Right before, like when they launched that trailer and they were like, tickets on sale now. I was like, God, get out of my way. Went online, just got my tickets, and then like I get on Twitter like maybe an hour later, servers crashed. That's tickets for Avengers Endgame or Influx. And I was like, well, I got mine, so.
Yeah, I'm still happy. I'm still happy with the ending of Infinity War.
Yeah,
I think that's just like the perfect ending.
I don't think they should have showed that Spider-Man preview just yet, because
No.
I know we knew that there was going to be Spider-Man 2, Black Panther 2, and all that stuff, but I mean, like, that kind of makes the whole ending of Infinity War a bit lackluster because
they spoil it for themselves.
Yeah, they should have probably pushed Spider-Man back a bit, but it's Marvel, so
or just not announce any of these movies and just say, hey, this is how it ends.
Yeah, and they got those people that leak everything, and so you get online and you find out they're making like Black Panther 3-4 years from now. And you're like, well, if he dies in Black Panther 2, it's not going to make much sense.
No.
So we all know that. But we're running low on time. Thanks for coming on the show, Jeremy. It was a real pleasure. I like having people like you come onto the show and, showing us what you guys have with your artwork and stuff like that. So if you know anybody who's running a campaign, tell them to let me know on Twitter, and I would love to have them on the show. We are filling up for May, so I'm probably going to start scheduling for June pretty soon.
Okay, cool. Thank you, Will.
No problem, man. You have a good night, and I will see you on Twitter.
Cool. Thanks. See ya.
No problem. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of Indie Choice Picks. My name is Will Calloway. You can go ahead and follow Jeremy across his social media. I have his Twitter account that I'll link below, as well as my accounts. If you are an indie creator and you would like to come on the show, all you have to do is contact me either on Instagram or Twitter with your project and let me know if you guys are interested in coming on to the show. Next week, we're going to have another group of artists coming onto the show, so please like and subscribe and be notified whenever a new interview gets live. All right, you guys enjoy your day, and I will see you next time. Bye.